song. City gon' get me every time I'm in the street. What's that K and N for?
Alright, right now we're using a strut spreader
Butt,
to separate the knuckle.
butt cheek spreader.
To separate the knuckle. So when you can pull the strut out. Trying to get the right angle right now while I tighten it, hand tighten it, and then we're gonna go in there with a 10mm wrench.
You fuck that shit up.
Bro.
So right now I'm using a 10mm wrench.
Why have my phone?
I did it.
There it is. Yeah, it's right there. Just right out of breath.
Yeah. Very good. Yep, right there. Right fucking there. Where's the camera? Where's the camera?
Right.
Come on, bro.
Here?
Wait. Leave it like that. Leave it like that.
He's yelling.
Let me loosen these up top.
He's happy. Right. I got you, Dre.
Alright, take that shit out, bro.
There we go. Yo, whose phone is it? Who phone it is? Whoa! Yo, boys, we're in the element right now. Just picked up some nuts from a Volkswagen dealership. These are the nuts that go right on top of the strut, the self-locking nut. Got new ones because just wanted to be safe. Because it does say that if you reuse the same ones or if you use a regular nut of the same thread, that it could back off over time. So got new ones. They were like $10 each. Like, does that sound like $10 for you each? But
I can do that shit with my nuts.
yeah. But so we're heading back to the garage where the Silva Surfa is, and we're gonna get back to doing the springs. Alright, lowering springs are in. Got the top of the strut in. Cito. Arnold Palmer's Necessity. And then gotta come over and do this side too.
March 15th.
But
So close in this one.
what's up, guys? My car's making noises after installing the springs. Front right is making like a creaking-ish sounding sound. What I think it could be, there's 3 culprits, okay? It is either the spring isn't set correctly or the bearing is rubbing somewhere. The sway bar end link is maybe slightly loose. Or the third, that I wish it was, I hope it's the issue. Most likely isn't though. But I did buy these springs used. Now, all lowering springs, if you take a look at them, they have these rubber pieces around the spring. Those are like spring silencers. Basically what they do is they silence the rubbing action of the springs when they hit each other. There's a chance that the ones on the front right spring are worn down enough to where I can hear the springs hit each other and rub against each other. That's a possibility. Hopefully that's it, because if that is it, then it's obviously not a serious issue. It's not like something's loose. And it's something that I can just pull off the old ones that are on there right now and just put on new ones, and that would fix the issue just like that. And they're pretty cheap too, so that's a plus. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to my dad's after the gym, and I'm going to lift the front end up, put her on jack stands, and check all the bolts on the right side, the front right side. There is another sound coming from the rear, but the sound from the rear does not sound like anything with the suspension. It sounds like something is just smacking. What I think it could be is I think it could be my exhaust hitting the bottom of the car. The reasoning to that is because when we were leaving the garage for the first time after installing the springs, I did scrape a little bit on the garage floor while leaving, because it's at a little bit of an angle. There's wood, and then the garage floor is like this. And my car is low enough now to where when I was initially leaving, I wasn't turning enough at an angle to where I wouldn't scrape. So I did scrape a little bit, and then I drove forward and it scraped a little bit, obviously, to get it off. That could have knocked something loose. That could have done something to where it is then smacking the bottom of the car. That's literally what it sounds like. It doesn't really sound like my suspension. It sounds like a thudding. Yeah, we're gonna take a look after the gym, and hopefully it's the easiest possible solutions. I know that there's a chance that it may not be, and I'm not excited for that, but at least if all the bolts are fine, it's something that I can do a different day. So yeah, let's hit the gym first though. All right, boys, I'm about to try to get a good enough angle here. All right, we're up. I'm gonna stop here so we can open up the garage door and pull the Silva Surfa into the garage. Before I do that, look how lowered it is, bro. This is exactly why I scraped on the floor leaving, because look how low that drawn is. Look how low that side is. So hopefully we can get in without scraping. I'm gonna set up a camera so you guys can see me pulling in. All right, we didn't scrape coming in, so it is time to check to see if the jack will fit under the car. It should, but if not, we're gonna have to drive her up onto some wood and then jack her up. All right, it's time to throw on a jumpsuit so then we don't gotta worry about getting dirty. All right. Let's jack this thing up and get to looking. All right, guys, I think I found the culprit. So first, I was checking the end link nut right here, and that looks completely fine. It looks completely straight on. It doesn't look loose at all. Like, there's no gap. I checked the bolt that goes through the knuckle and through the bottom of the strut. Fine. I didn't really look down here, but what I did want to check was the seating of the spring. Now, if you may not be able to see it, but the bottom of the spring is seated correctly fine right here. It's completely fine. It's up against the rubber piece right here that stops it. So then I was like, okay, let me double check the top, right? Now, if we look at the top up here, I thought it looked a little off, right? And then what I tried doing was I tried shaking the spring. Let me try to set the phone down so you can see how much play is given. I found the culprit. The spring is moving completely up top. All right, so what I think it might be is I think that this top nut on the strut, even though it looks like it's fully like seated and fine, right? I think that it might be a little loose, which is causing the spring to rattle a little bit over bumps and stuff. So I think what I might try doing is I looked up a technique where you have the car on the ground, and you basically just come in here and you just do a quick zap with the impact gun. The reason you want it on the ground is because the weight is on the spring enough to where it won't try to spin as much, and the quick spike of torque should turn the nut enough without spinning anything, without needing the Allen key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wheels back on. I'm not going to put the spacers on because that's just a pain yet. I'll save this till after I figure out the problem and everything. Give the quick zap technique a try and see if that helps. I'll raise the car back up and see if that fixed it. Because the thing is that on this side, I did try shaking the spring up top, and it actually moves a little bit, but it's not making a loud enough noise as this side was. I tried putting an Allen key through a socket and then using this to tighten the socket while trying to hold the Allen key, but that obviously is extremely difficult by trying to do it just with my hands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop it on the ground, try that technique out, and we're gonna see if that helps. All right, guys, so I just did the quick little zap method. I have the car obviously on the ground. I'm just gonna give this a quick spin real quick, see if that fixed it. If you're wondering exactly what I did, 21 millimeter socket on an impact gun, car on the ground, hold the impact gun for maybe half a second, quick little zap, do that 2 to 3 times. I did it 3 times on each, and we're gonna see if that worked. I'm praying that worked, because if not, it's definitely something with the strut. The top looks like it's seated fine, so I think that it could be the bearing, but I just don't really understand why it would be making that much noise. So we're gonna take it for a quick spin and let you guys know if that worked or not. So wish me luck. All right, guys, I'm now on the drive, and to be honest, I barely hear anything at all now. There still is a noise coming from the rear. The rear isn't as much of an issue as the front, because obviously the front is the most difficult part about installing springs. Also, that is where the power is coming from. So that is the most dangerous in terms of, like, more can go wrong. I think it is the top strut nut, and I barely hear it at all. The rear thud, I'm gonna obviously take a look at, but it sounds like the sound from the front right is basically completely gone. Good thing is that I can order a socket for the top nut, and then just tomorrow just come back to my dad's and tighten it that way. But I think that's it, because I like do not hear it. Yeah, I'm gonna get back, put my car in the garage again, and we're gonna take a look at the rear. Hopefully it's just my exhaust being loose because of when we scraped. I hope it's nothing with the bolts in the rears, but I'm gonna do the same exact thing as I did in the front. Lift the car up, both sides, take both wheels off, and double check all the bolts. If all the bolts feel fine, then I'm gonna start to inspect the exhaust. Let's get this car back in the garage and check out the rear. All right, guys, so it actually seems like that fixed it. I hate how I was kind of pessimistic, but I didn't really think that it would have worked as well as it did. But basically, the nut for the bottom of the strut, or the bolt and the nut for the bottom of the strut, what I basically did is I applied pressure to the bottom of the strut using the jack, the floor jack, raised her up just enough to where it was almost level. The like the lower control arm was kind of leveled, and then, or close to being leveled. And then I just went back over the bolt and tightened it. And that ended up working. Let's put all the spacers back on, go for another drive, make sure it still sounds fine, and if it sounds fine, then we're golden, baby. All right, guys, we are on the final test drive, and the spacers are back on, and I can't hear a thing. Everything is fine. I don't hear any noises at all. I'm even trying to hit some bumps, because obviously nothing should be loose enough to where if I go over any heavy bumps, because sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid them. Like I said, front right, hit it with the impact gun for like half a second while it was grounded, and then the rear I just raised up from the bottom of the strut with the floor jack and just tightened down the 18 mils, and that seemed to do it. I'm even trying to load the car left and right under steering, and nothing. So we are in the clear. She is lowered, guys. Check out the fitment. I know the tires are dirty, but look at that rear, front. Whew. Can't even fit 2 fingers in vertically. Looks sweet. Yeah, guys, she is finally lowered. Looks absolutely insane. I love it. Car is really coming together, and oh, can't see that. But yeah, car's coming together. Got Dre springs back there, but there is something on top of the box that if you saw it, you might know what it is. The ride kind of feels the same, not really much different from stock. Maybe a tad bit bumpier and stiffer, but it's really not enough to where like it's a pain, you know? Install was a little bit of a pain. It's lowering springs. You're taking off the struts, you're taking off the springs, putting new springs in. Obviously, it's going to be a pain. Just make sure you double check every bolt. If you hear any noises, check all the bolts on that side. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.